questions and comments from viewers. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is the Gospel Truth. I'm the artist formerly known as the Christian Whistleblower. And we did want to come today to you and talk about some of the questions, some of the comments, and even some of the answers that come from you, our viewing and listening audience. Now, of course, we do a good job in the chat room of answering questions as they come in, and not much gets by us, but we do have some things that come in via email or come in through private message for me. And I do want to go ahead and address some of those because I do read everything you folks send me. And I do definitely pay attention. And I wanted to let you know that we do address these and we did want to answer these. So here we go. Let's talk about some of the questions from folks that have written in. And if any of you heard Lazy Marzulli on Coast last night, and here's a good example. So I just sent Sarah, we were supposed to have a connection, and I didn't get a Skype request from her. So I went and put a Skype request in myself just now, and she didn't respond back to it because she's probably a busy lady. So that's just a good, perfect example. We're trying to make sure that we get connected on our appointments. I'm very happy that Sarah is wanting to talk with me, but it's important that if we can, that we follow the procedure to make sure this doesn't happen and your valuable time isn't wasted. Because if you'll just set a time with me and then send me your Skype request, send me a request on Skype to NC Kabbalah, then that way we can be hooked up before this. So now, I sent a request and we are going to be hooked up, but unfortunately we'll have to reschedule it. And somebody else could have had that. And I'm sure that this lovely lady that I'm going to talk to had other things to do as well. So we just got to make sure we do it best for each person, and we got to make sure we do it best for everybody. So if you want to have personal work, and I'm glad you do, just send me an email and say, hey, here's 2 times that I can do it. And then when I say, okay, here's a good time, just send me your Skype contact, ask for a contact with me. Or if you don't know how to do that, just send me your Skype name and I will send you a request. So unfortunately, we just had a little disconnection. We're both willing and ready and able and wanting, but I did send you a request now, Sarah. So if you'll just accept that request, then we'll be connected and we can just reschedule for another time that's convenient for you. And I apologize for the mix up, but it's a really good example. We just need to make sure that you want the help, I want to give it, and let's just do it. Let's try to follow a process that makes it easier for both of us. So just send me an email that says, hey, I want to have some personal work. Send me your Skype name. If you know how, ask for me to get send a Skype request to me at NC Kabbalah. That way we can get hooked up and make sure that everything goes smoothly. Now, one of our subscribers wrote a song about Sophia Rising, and I want to show you that song. I was moved when I heard it, and I want to show you this song because I think it's really nice. I think it's really powerful, and she's got a great voice. So I want to play this for you. Probably embarrass her to death, but I want to play this for you real quickly to get us started with our viewer questions. This is a song that was written about Sophia Rising, and I'm very honored that it was an inspiration from those series of videos. So here we go, from Blue Bottle Bunny Farm, original song written and sung by one of our sisters here at the Gospel Truth. Enjoy this. Let me make sure it's turned up all the way.
I value freedom above all else. I love my neighbor as myself. Avoid things that make me weak, and I seek things that make me strong. Well, I am light and I am love. I'm a spirit being with infinite power. I know the sweet wouldn't be so sweet if it were for a little sour. Sophia, rise in me with the wisdom of the ages. Let us break out of the cages in our minds. Sophia, speak to me that there is no sin within. Coming from our origin, we are divine. We are divine. I know that what my mind conceives, a true thing that my heart believes, that's the thing I will achieve. Oh, I believe that praise and blame, they come and go, and life is like a rodeo. Just because they told me so no longer works for me. Sophia, rise in me with the wisdom of the ages. Let us break out of the cages in our minds. Sophia, speak to me that there is no sin within. Coming from our origin, we are divine. We are divine. Well, life is hard and it's getting harder, and I won't off this wheel of karma. What don't kill you makes you stronger to fight another day. Well, I've watched my hair turn from brown to gray, and I've watched my beauty fade away. Reflections changing day by day, and I've decided that it's okay. Sophia, rise in me with the wisdom of the ages. Let us break out of the cages in our minds. Sophia, speak to me that there is no sin within. Coming from our origin, we are divine. We are divine.
Wow, how about that, huh? Yeah, that makes you feel good. Sometimes you wonder if you're doing any good. You wonder if anybody's listening, and then you get something like that. And that was just tremendously moving to me. And I think that from the comments, I'm not the only one. That was tremendous. It was good stuff, and definitely bravo. So there you go. That's the beginning. Now let's go ahead. And someone just asked a question. And let me make sure that I get it. Rumi was talking about the hijacking of Christianity by an evil Jewish prince. Of course, he's talking about Paul. Absolutely. I don't know if Rumi's still alive. I don't think Rumi is, but that's pretty cool. I didn't even realize that. So Rumi and Paul, let's write that down. That's a good one. Rumi and Paul. 8 or 9 p.m. tonight Eastern Time, Scotty Roberts, repeat guest on Coast to Coast. Very interesting guy. He'll be on with us tonight. Hello to all the people. There's another song that was here. What are agnostics? An agnostic is a person that isn't sure what they believe in regards to God. They're not atheist, but they don't believe in God either. So they're kind of they don't understand. They just don't know. And the old saying is, there's no agnostics in foxholes. So, you know, stress and danger tends to coalesce people's faith. So an agnostic is someone that doesn't know what they believe in regards to deity. That's an agnostic. I was reading about Adam had a wife before Eve. Do I have any videos on that? I haven't made any videos about Lilith. I probably will, but I've not made any videos about Lilith yet. So there you go. The Russian Orthodox Church has a school of Sophiology to explore the theology of Sophia. Very nice. Very nice. Are Lilith and Sophia the same person? Ashley says yes. I tend to think so. And I think that, it's interesting that it said that Sophia manifested in Eve, incarnated in Eve. Perhaps that's a little bit of a dung issue, even in the Nag Hammadi. Perhaps Sophia really manifested in Lilith. How about that? If Lilith was the first wife of Adam, as many believe, perhaps Sophia manifested in Lilith, incarnated in Lilith. And even the writers of the Nag Hammadi didn't want to go that crazy. So they said that Sophia manifested in Eve. Oh, there's another big one. Did Sophia manifest in Lilith? I think we may have just discovered a great truth right there. I think we may have just discovered a great truth right there. She came to visit not long ago, garbed in owl feathers. Well, now I know she's risen, Lloyd. That's all I know for sure right now, that she's risen and she is giving us our full blessing. And I do think, not blessing, our full power. So yeah, I think Lilith and Sophia are the same person. That's very interesting. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. So before manifestation, what choir of angels did Sophia belong to? I don't think she belonged to any choir of angels. Sophia was the female portion of the Godhead, as far as I'm concerned. I work with Lilith Blackmoon in charts. That's interesting. Isn't she referred to as the screeching owl? She is. Lloyd Martinez was very blissed by her. We're not talking about Phoenix rising, K1. We're talking about Sophia rising. And go and search on my channel for Jeffrey Daugherty, Sophia rising. I think there's 4 or 5 videos, and we'll get you dialed up on it. So let's go to the viewer questions. Let's go to the viewer questions. This is a person that had written me and said, hey, listen, I've been attacked. I get bruises. I get cuts. I'm having real problems in this space. And then she told me, well, I'm only renting this space, so I can't really claim dominion over it. And I had a flash from my blink, and I said, here's what you do. Even though you don't own the place, take your lease in your hand and say, according to this paperwork, this is my territory. I am the rightful legal representative of this territory, and march around your whole perimeter of your property and declare that. And she did it. And this was back early July. So it's been a whole month now and a half, almost 2 months. No bruises, no burns, no cuts. The missing link was using my lease contract. So if you are having situations in a place that is not under your ownership, take the lease paper, walk around the perimeter of the apartment, of the condo, of the property, and claim your dominion and force any unbalanced entities that are giving you problems to leave, command them to do so. And the proof's in the pudding. It worked here. And I say that's awesome. So there's question and question answered. All right. How about this? This is from a Muslim doctor. And he asked me, a Muslim doctor, and I was very, very pleased to get this from him. He says, hello, salam, peace in Arabic. Thank you. I'm a progressive Muslim who believes in science and scientific fact. I'm an evolutionist rather than a creationist. I've had discussions about evolution with fanatics, both Muslim and Christian. Many Muslims consider me a heretic. The Christians consider me a wolf in sheep's clothing. And he just brings into question Darwinism and creation. And the question that he is asking is, how did Paul reach such a high level in Christianity that nearly half of the New Testament belongs or is attributed to him, taking in considerations of his past history? And he gives a couple of examples and ties Paul to an ISIS-like type of terrorism, and even a Che Guevara, I can't remember how you say his name, Guevara. And it's a very thoughtful discussion, and it really is interesting how Paul rose to the top of Christianity, and he rose it through state-sponsored terrorism. He was sponsored by the Roman state to run a reign of terror. So this is a good one too, man. So the ties, the analogy between ISIS and Paul is almost perfect, because Paul did rise to the heights of Christianity through state-sponsored terrorism. Paul was the original ISIS. He was Pisces. Excellent. Thank you, doctor. I won't say your last name to save you some possible embarrassment. And someone sent me a note that said you should make a book of all of the cool stuff that your subscribers send to you. I really should. That's a great idea. Then someone asked me this question. I've heard you say not to commit suicide. Why is it a bad thing? What impact would this have on your afterlife? Well, suicide is rather final. And the way I responded to this person, I know this person, so I said, number one, I would miss you. And this person wasn't necessarily saying they were going to commit suicide, but what is wrong with suicide? Well, it ends your potentiality for growth in this incarnation. It ends your potentiality for development in this incarnation. And I don't have any definitive proof, but I think that ending your life here would have energetic repercussions once you leave this body. I think that act of, I don't want to upset anybody, but that act of surrender, that act of running up the white flag may have energetic repercussions and may make it more difficult for you, may mean that you got to come back and do it again. So, I mean, if you're thinking about ending this life and moving on, you may just be ending this life and coming back to another one. So consider that. That's that's my blink on the matter right there. And of course, I'm not giving you the only answer, but I don't think suicide's a great idea, to be honest with you. And here is a question. Where's the question? This is also about Sophia rising. I think this is mainly just a nice talk. There's no question. At least I couldn't find one there in that little bit of time. So about the rapture, what can we as awakened people expect in the time of the end? That's a great question, because it has to do with all the rapture, crapture stuff he said. And it has to ask about the Anunnaki, the false information. What do we do and how do we react as believers in the message of the Christ in this end time scenario? And I think, and he sent this message quite a while back. Well, no, it's only been about 3 days, but I don't know if he's aware of what we've been talking about the jubilation. Those of us that understand what's really going on with the rising of Sophia and the completion of the Christ. I'm going to pitch that to Coast and try to go on Coast to Coast with that idea. I think it's powerful. The 2 eclipses and the 7-year jubilation and the completion of the Christ. I'm pretty sure we'll get that on Coast to Coast. How powerful will that be? I think that this is a period of jubilation for us, a period of growth, a period of great potentiality. So while Lazy Marzulli and Scotty got sloppy, Clark want to tell you that it's rapture, tribulation. And if anybody saw Marzulli or listened to Marzulli last night on Coast to Coast, give me a little breakdown. How far did he sell himself out on the rapture? I've had no further response from him, by the way. So it's a time of jubilation for us. It's good news. It's powerful time. It's happy times. It's good times. And we should be looking forward to growing and expanding and developing in our spirituality in this 7-year period. So for us, it should be a time of jubilation without any worries about tribulation. Couple of questions. Spirit guides. Any chance you could tell us something about them and how they work? My general advice on spirit guides is stay away from them. And I know that bothers a lot of people, but through my extensive work in the astral realm, I believe that most of the spirit guides, the vast majority of the spirit guides, almost all of the spirit guides, are there only to maintain relationships with you so they can continue to feed off of you energetically. And that spirit guides don't do anything for you that you couldn't do for yourself if you weren't lazy. If you're willing to put in the work, you can guide your own spirit. You can master your own ascension, so you don't need spirit guides or ascended masters. You can be your own guru. And those aren't just catchphrases that I use. Those are things that I live by and things that I believe in strongly. So there's very rarely anything out there that wants to guide you. They want to guide you into soul farms. They want to guide you into places they want you to go. Don't let yourself be guided in the astral realm. How many times have I said that? You've got to have powerful, strong intention in the astral realm. Don't be guided by anyone or anything. Spirit guides, no bueno. Well, Jeff, that's rather extreme. Yeah, it is. Because there's a bunch of New Age idiots. I'm sorry. A bunch of New Age chuckleheads running around. Trying to tell you, just ask them if they're of the light. And if they say yes, let them guide you. Don't be so lazy. Do your own work. Jesus Christ, he said, there's plastic Jesus, there's Christ the Word. So what or who is the biblical Jesus Christ? Because that's a kind of mixture of both people, or am I missing something? You're missing something. And I have a feeling you're missing the book, Jesus and the Christ. Spend the $3.99 and get it. Because there is no biblical Jesus Christ. That's an oxymoron. Well, there is a biblical Jesus Christ. The dung part of the Bible. The Christ is the Elohim word manifested in flesh. Jesus is the person invented who never existed to supersede the place of the Christ and to serve as a placeholder for the Lord to launch a final false flag. And if you look at this section on here, Jesus Fallacies on the channel, the section entitled, Is the Lord Who We Think He Is? You probably would want to start with the Jesus Fallacies. That would have that information. So yes, you are missing something. There was no biblical Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is a construct designed to replace the Christ and has done a remarkably good job, and to set up a straw man that the Lord can leverage in his attempts to deceive and to launch a final false flag. Good questions. What else we got here? Here's one from somebody that's just about as weird as I am. And this person says that they confirm the fact that I was in a past time running a soul farm They saw me there, but that I wasn't a bad guy. And that I was, I guess, working behind the scenes to try to free people. So that's very interesting. You're a strange person. Almost as strange as me. Excellent. I like that stuff. So let's see what we've got as far as fresh questions here in the chat room. Have I been sharing this whole time? No. Good. I hope I shared the picture of the video of her singing. I think I did. All right, so let me get to the right spot here. Come on, Jeff, get it together. All righty, here we go. I like that Sophia came to visit him in owl feathers. That's interesting. And that was a comment from Lloyd Martinez. I love this. So is she or he G space D? God. Sorry. She is the female portion of divinity. She was the first Christ. She manifested, I'm saying in Lilith now, because she was helping us out because she created Yahweh, who has become the great adversary. I use Sophia as a metaphor for wisdom. You sure could do that. I have a black cat called Lily, but the rest of my family calls her Lilith. Lilith is an aspect in the birth natal charts. I can't see Sophia being her. That's all right, Spirit Wind Radio. We don't have to agree on everything. I wholeheartedly support your right to be wrong. Quay Guevara was a POS. Yeah, so was Paul. Spirit Wind Radio just found out about it. Have to look into it more. You'll get deleted if you kill yourself, even if you're a god. I don't know about that. When you kill yourself, you must come back and continue your path again. Groundhog Day. I tend to agree with Tamu, and we're going to get Tamu on to talk about some tarot stuff for sure. And Tamu is building out her channel. She's got a couple of videos on there that are good, and I encourage you to check her out. Tamu Ingina, right here on YouTube. Do you think suicide would be considered blaspheming the Holy Spirit? No. But I agree with Tamu, it's a bad idea. And if you kill yourself, you're coming back again. So you're kind of defeating your purpose. If you kill yourself because you're tired of living, guess what? You get to come back and live some more. So it doesn't make any sense, and it's a waste, and we would miss you. So don't do it. I agree with the suicide idea. I remember my suicide from my last life. Lloyd, that is fascinating. That is fascinating. I wonder if we should get Lloyd on the channel. Lloyd, send me an email and let's see if you got enough game to come on the channel, because it sounds like you got some good ideas. Tamu says that yes, you will bounce right back to the same issues. We all have a clear path of development to follow, clear and complete. I tend to agree with you, Tamu. I think you're absolutely right. I think you're 100% dead on. Carmen says it's not a good idea. Would that go for assisted euthanasia? Boy, leave it to Tiffany to pull us into the deep water, because that's really wow. Assisted euthanasia. You know, I'm not in that position, so I'm not qualified to make a call on that. That's a deeply, intensely personal decision in a situation of no hope. And you know, the movie Star Trek V, it wasn't the Undiscovered Country. It was what was the Final Frontier. There's a great scene in there about assisted euthanasia. I encourage you to look at it. The book Discovery. Check that out. If time doesn't exist, then how can we measure end time? Well, there really is no end time. That's a Christian Jesuit dung construct. There really are no end times. Very good point, 14A10. It doesn't exist. There is no end time. That's a eschatological creation from the mind of the Jesuit priest Francisco Ribera, empowered by Saint Teresa and propagated by Margaret MacDonald, who I think was either Saint Teresa, a reincarnation of Saint Teresa, or Saint Teresa walked in, and C.I. Scofield, who was a Jesuit agent, probably through blackmail and leveraging of a extremely dark and checkered past. And I did a video on that, so you can check that out. They still have an agenda. I only trust my higher self. Good for you. Spirit guides are bad. Real ones don't talk to you. There you go, Ashley. I like that, Ashley. She's threatening to come on the channel. We'll see. Gary Baxter, I love you, brother. I've been saying this for years. Microwaves are dangerous and they zap all nutritional values in food. Here's the deal with microwaves. At the very least, microwave kills all nutrients in your food. So you might as well be eating cardboard. Microwaves kill all the nutrients in your food at the least. At most, they make your food toxic to you. If you have a microwave in your house and you're using it, you're stupid. 30 seconds ago, you were ignorant, but now you're stupid because you know the reality. And if you continue to use one, you're stupid. It's up to you. I feel a little extreme today. Why should today be different, right? What happens at the end of these 7 years? At the end of these 7 years, Matthew Summers, you are what you are. These 7 years give us a time to contemplate, give us a time to figure out who we are, what we want to be. And at the end of this 7 years, this is a time of choosing. You can choose to be with the Jesus worshipers and Pauline Christianity, or you can choose to be with the Christ. And come 2024, what you have written, you have written. What you've chosen, you have chosen. Denise says, thank you for showing me the difference between the fake Jesus and the real Christ. That flesh of my flesh and blood of my blood is so weird and always freaked me out. That's because you're a smart person, Denise, and thank you. I wonder if assisted suicide is not only a way for population control, but also if it just rebounds the person back. Wow, that's a good question. That's a good question. The movie Insidious, I think I saw that, but I want to watch it again. I asked my pendulum, do I have more than X amount of spirit guides? I got up to, do I have more than spirit guides? It said yes. Why do I have so many? Tiffany, that's a question only you can answer. If I were you, I'd be cleaning house. I'd get rid of all 20 of them. Always a good time to grow, especially now. That's why we're looking for something new. I'd rather travel the road less traveled. Agreed. New Age is Christianity for Trekkies. 2 weeks now, no matter what, I can't get out of my body before, no problem every time. Well, just chill. It's been a weird time. Does anyone know if your future self could guide you? I get guide. Did you watch the show last night, Tanok Group, about can we manifest our Elohim nature here and now? Watch that. It'll answer that question. Yes, 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 Jeff. Def agree. New Age stuff rings a lot of internal alarms. It's just silliness. I wonder if they're dying anyway, would they have to recycle? I think Tamu's right. If you kill yourself, automatic recycle. How powerful. I can't help but wanting to talk with some spirit guides just to see what trickery they're up to. You can do that. Just make sure you got your spiritual badassness queued up. I think any karmic debt incurred by suicide is dependent upon the situation. Sarah, I like I said, I'm not in that situation, and I would not be arrogant enough to try to make a sweeping statement. It's a deeply personal belief. And commercial. If you have, and you already signed up to get your analytical mind in order, you won't have to worry about making bad decisions. Michelle, this is too deep for noon. Yeah. What if they needed to experience death in a certain way and assisted suicide deprives them of that experience? Yep, all good questions. I agree, Sarah, but it is considered suicide in the eyes of the divine is my question. That's interesting. Will there ever be a diamond Bible? I lost it. Sorry. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. Will there ever be a diamond Bible with all the dung removed from Old and New Testaments? You know how much work that is, Nick? I'd like to think there will be. I'd like to think I could do it, but that's a lot of work. I agree about spirit guides, says Seven Serpents. Even though I've received help and good info from them, there always seems to be a plot behind it. Yes, there is. Spirit guides do have their own agendas. Archangels, archons, I don't trust any of those things. I do my own work. The afterlife seems like a maze or navigation system of, I agree, K1. Don't follow anybody else's guidance. There's a giant Sophia statue in Bohemian Grove. Is that the owl one? Who was Shekinah? Shekinah, I like her singing. No, Shekinah is, that's a reference to the Shekinah glory dwelling between the cherubim on the Ark of the Covenant. You're welcome, Spirit Wind Radio. Where does one begin with unindoctrinating children? I got 5 young ones, and they've loosely been raised in churches. The first thing you do is get them the hell out of the churches, I would say. I don't even know who Eric Medhus is, so I don't really care if he disagrees. Who was Melchizedek? I'm not even sure Melchizedek was real. I have to check him out. I agree with Tamu. Good. I'm going to remove that comment. Hi, Gary. Assisted euthanasia is after death has already been robbed. Life has already been expended. That's an interesting point, too. God, religion, this is, nah. Bye-bye. No end time. That is the hustle. How is remote viewing different from astral projection? Well, I think that probably all remote viewers astral project, but not all astral projectors remote view. I personally don't think it's bad here for tribulation. I don't know what you mean. I don't believe revelation. There is no revelations. It's revelation. I don't believe revelation was ever about prophecy, but more about knowledge being revealed. Well, the word revelation in Greek is apocalypsis, which means the unveiling. So you're 100% right, Lloyd. I hope your mom is improving. Absolutely. Cooking kills. Cooking does kill, but microwave makes toxic. Tamu says, stay away from microwaves. That's smart, Tamu. You may be right, Yore. I hope I'm saying that right. Microwaves cause cancer was the comment. Cardboard. They are illegal in Russia. Tiffany says she's stupid. Tim Holderman says he's stupid. Well, you know what that great American philosopher said? Stupid is as stupid does. Someone who believes what I do about microwaves. This self-healing seems to be helping. Good. But it's so quick and easy. Yeah, exactly. And the rinse and repeat on suicide. Yep. Add a little water and cover on the stovetop on low heat. Be patient. I shook the hand of Dr. Jack. I felt peaceful energy coming from him. Jack the Dripper? That's interesting. Susan, I've had 5 serious suicide attempts. It's really hard to kill yourself. I don't recommend it. Wow, Susan. Tamu shares her reheating advice. Jen Fisher, get rid of that damn thing. I feel so hopeful about these coming 7 years. You should. I just jumped again. I feel hopeful. Good. You should. I'm thinking about Christmas. Can we still celebrate Christmas and Easter? I wouldn't celebrate it with Jesus in mind, but can you still have a nice family time around giving gifts on Christmas? Why not? Can you still have a nice family time around eggs and bunnies on Easter? Why not? EFT should be very effective on anything. Parkinson's is a tough one. I just say keep at it, brother. Instant gratification kills us slowly. Wow, that's a great statement. Do I agree with pre-birth planning? I don't even know what you mean. What do you do when spirits are touching you? I don't let them touch me. And if they do touch me, I just say, get that cunt out of my face. Get that cunt out of my face. Yeah, I don't let them touch me. Do I simply ask them to leave? No, you don't ask them to leave. You get in contact with your inner bitch and force them out. You got to go Cro-Magnon or Cro-Magnon if you prefer the French. I've had messages from my future self, but my mind was too cloudy to realize it till after the event happened. It is very cool. Maybe the 7 years is metaphor for physiological, spiritual growth, the process of the maturing of the neurological system. Could be. Do you think we should eat death or meat? Anything with a heart? I wish I could be vegetarian. I want to be vegetarian. I don't want to eat anything. But it seems like I need some meat. I don't know. That's a tough question for me. I am with you in spirit, Mickey. Meditate and create your own Bible, culled from whatever works for you. Yeah. What's diamond, what's dung for you? They worship an owl at Bohemian Grove. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily Sophia. I think it's an owl. And she doesn't necessarily have to be a Sophia. Have to be an owl. And what's that guy in the one religion that is like a peacock? What's his name? What is that guy's name? That's the peacock god. He reminds me a lot of the Christ. Wondering if he wasn't a manifestation of the Christ. What was his name? Somebody help me out. The peacock god in a kind of a Persian type religion. See, I don't know if they really do worship Lilith or if that's just what they want us to think because they're trying to defame Lilith. Just wondering. Is there a doctrine you agree with? Lee, are you being snippy? Kind of creepy when you realize who goes there. Yeah. I am Blue Bottle Bunny Farm. Thank you, Susan Vaughn. That was good stuff. It really was. Jen Fisher. The only time I prayed to God is when I drank too much. If you let me not get sick, I promise I'll never drink again. How many of us have prayed that prayer at some time in our lives? Yes. That's funny. I wonder, do we have our own guardian angels? Probably. But our guardian angel is probably just our higher self. That's good stuff. Jen praying to the porcelain god. Well, Michelle, if you throw it out, they don't got no choice. Do you know that in Sweden, Stockholm, in our royal court, we have the Devil's Bible, the biggest medieval book ever written, and has many parts of the Bible written there? Oh, that's a cool book. Just up, from a I don't know why I always mess up. It's not archaeology, it's anthropology. That's a very interesting book from an anthropological standpoint. Is spirit and soul the same? No. I would say spirit is that spark of divinity. Soul is your human essence, your animal essence. Wayne Steiger would tell you just the opposite, but it's potato, really. Interesting. The year after Deb threw out her microwave, she lost 35 pounds. Do you know that in my divorce, I got rid of 135 pounds of ugly fat? That's terrible. Most people celebrate Christian holidays in a secular way, so celebrating what you want with joy and intent. I agree, Tamu. My kids are going to have a fit, but I'm getting rid of that microwave. Good for you, Jen. What's the difference between Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic? I'm not really a Catholic, so I couldn't give you all those differences. But not much. Like, what's the difference between Roman Catholic and Roman Protestant? One's not afraid of holy water. And I agree with this. Go back to your heritage, since most cultures have celebrations. I agree. Urantia book. Man, that's like trying to suck mud through a straw, the Urantia book. I just can't get into it. Thanks for talking to me last night. You're welcome. My wife freaked out. Yeah. You got to go a little on the DL, I think, for a while, sheepdog. You're welcome, Niz. Tom Moo is going to subscribe. He's going to subscribe to your channel. I don't believe the moon eclipsed the moon, as no one has seen the moon going to the sun or leaving it. Yeah. You can believe what you want, Space. I was there. I saw it. As to Parkinson's, as long as you cook under 200 degrees, you don't kill the good bacteria. That's good. Krishna, Vishnu, bless you. I'm joking. I don't use that word anymore. A scene. Sefer Yetzirah. No, it wasn't. No, his name is, he's the peacock god. Somebody get on Google, for God's sake. We could discuss the 3 levels of ourselves. Yeah, that's good. I thought our guardian angel is our higher self. They say Lilith was Adam's first wife, who was evil, because I think they want us to believe she was evil, K1, because I think it was Lilith, or it was Sophia inhabiting Lilith. What do I think about Hindu beliefs? Well, they're the oldest, arguably, and there's some good stuff in there, and there's a significant amount of Hindu belief in the teachings of the Christ. Any thoughts on astrotheology? It has some interesting points, no doubt about it. Yeah, you can use it as a cupboard. I'm a vegan. It's a bit of a struggle, but I have a spiritual goal. I don't crave meat, since I would be eating an animal with emotions and their consciousness. I agree with you. Yazidi. Yeah, it is. That is the religion, Nick. I'm just trying to remember his name. Lee Beltman. Dang, am I late or what? Yeah, you're late. Jeff, you go down as a legend in my eyes. Oh, thanks, Space. Malek Taus, that's him. That is him, Malek Taus. That's him. Thank you very much, Michelle V. Hit by a car when I was 14, flew 53 through the air, landed on my feet. Okay. Malik Taus, that's the one I was thinking about. How can a woman be evil just for being equal? Good question. Yeah, I got an appointment coming up in 20 minutes. I need to blast out of here as well. So if you do want to have appointments, please send me a request through email, send me your Skype name, send me your Google Hangout name. If you don't want to send me your Skype name, ask to be my contact on Skype. I'm NC Kabbalah, and we will make it happen. Thank you for being here. This has been questions from viewers, both in the chat room and without. I'm not driving anywhere, Gary, but thank you. Next time I drive, I will. I appreciate your attendance. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for everything. And we'll see you again today. And we got a lot of good ideas here to talk about. So until then, remember, no original sin, spark of divinity within. That's why the Christ said, love yourself, love the divinity in you, love the divinity in your neighbors. That way you can be excellent to yourself, excellent to your neighbors, and we can all be excellent to each other. And that's when this thing really starts working, because there is no them, only us. Nobody's free until we're all free. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, and I will see you next time.